Yo, what's the deal? What's the deal? It's your boy who is Hendo, Real Hendo Reactions. We back with some hip hop, and we got another episode of Hip Hop Hypocrisy where we exposing all the narratives about, what I'm saying, people didn't use ghostwriters back in the day, and it wasn't accepted. You know what I'm saying? Even though they did have problems with a lot of that stuff back in the day. Let's not act like people weren't using ghostwriters in the 90s, early 2000s, late 80s. And right here we have a video that I stumbled upon while trying to figure out what kind of content to do for my hip hop channel. That's basically what I'm turning this into. A history of 20 verified hip hop songs written by ghostwriters. So let's check this out. It's about a 10-minute video. I got this is just light work. I got some real good videos coming today. Shout out to Rap Guy Reloaded, man. He been tapping into the videos. I appreciate you and everybody that's came over here from my main channel. Y'all know I do NBA over there, but my first love is music, hip hop. You know what I'm saying? So let's get it.
History with ghostwriters. While other music genres generally don't make a big deal about who writes what, rap's particular focus on penmanship and personal accounts has made ghostwriting a touch topic. Before we get into the list, let's clear a few things up. Ghostwriting isn't necessarily writing whole verses. It could have just been a melody, a hook, an idea. As long
Exactly. So what Quentin Miller did for Pusha T, that's ghostwriting. It don't matter if it was a verse, a hook, melody, any of that. Y'all want to put that on the poster child, which is supposed to be Drake, even though the poster child really should be Kanye West of this generation, because he had all type of writers and Kanye has been open about it. But maybe because Drake called himself the GOAT and the greatest of all time and everything, maybe that's why people say that. But it was others of your greatest that either used ghostwriters or what was equivalent to ghostwriting, in my opinion, back in the day, was biting other rhymes, copying other niggas. I'm just saying, paying homage, as some people call it, but it's not paying homage when it's a rapper you don't like.
long as it contributed to the overall song, it's part of the writing process. Also, for all intents and purposes, we're going to use ghostwriter as an umbrella term to include credited writer, uncredited writer, and co-writer. The Sugar Hill Gang's Rapper's Delight is the earliest notable case of ghostwriting in the hip-hop industry. It's also the
It was one of the most classic hip hop songs of all time, and it was ghost written by Grandmaster Caz.
most prolific example. As the story goes, Big Bank Hank was going to record the song, but he didn't have any rhymes ready, so he asked Grandmaster Caz to write some for him. Grandmaster Caz said, so when he came to me like,
So this dates back all the way to 1979. Come on, man.
yo, these people want me to make a rap. I said, for what? You don't rap, you ain't no MC. Didn't you tell them about me? He's like, the lady heard my tapes and she likes my voice. So anyway, he said, I need you to write me some rhymes because we going in the studio. I'm not thinking nothing of it. I'm thinking this is going anywhere. So I'm like, cool, come over my house. He came to my house. I threw a bunch of rhymes on the table and said, say this, and say that. LL Cool J is credited on the song as JT.
You mean LL was writing for Run DMC, one of the greatest rap groups of all time, if not the greatest? So LL was But y'all ain't gonna talk about this. Y'all ain't gonna slander Run DMC though. Y'all not gonna slander Run DMC? Oh yeah, we cooking.
T. Smith. Around that same time, LL was getting ready to drop his debut album and was called on by Russell Simmons and Run DMC to assist with the group's second album, King of Rock. G-Rap said, I wrote the song Chick on the Side on the
Salt and pepper. Y'all not gonna slander Salt and Pepper, are y'all? The women, I ain't gonna slander them, huh? and salt and pepper plat. And what I am saying is, I'm not slandering none of these. These are all hip hop legends. What I'm saying to y'all is, I hate the hypocrisy. I hate the hypocrites in hip hop who act like, back in the day, wasn't nobody doing that and everything like that. And act like this hasn't been a thing since hip hop started, bro. Yeah, we cooking today. I need y'all to share all these videos, bro, and get the truth out, bro. Get this channel up, bro, where my other channel is at, man. We're trying to get 1,000 subscribers real soon by 2027. By sometime 2027, we're trying to get 1,000 subscribers. That's why I've been uploading more over here.
On the B-side of Push It, remembered in an interview with Platform 8470. It was before G-Rap ever had a record, before I was with Juice Crew, before all of that. This was backed up in a recent interview. Cheryl James Aka Salt talked about the legend. Ice Cube actually wrote, Boys in the Hood, for
I know about this already. We know this.
Homeboys Only, a New York rap group that were the first rap act to be signed to Ruthless Records. But after the group passed on the song due to its heavy West Coast themes, Dr. Dre suggested to Eazy that he should rap it instead. Well, I actually wrote Boys in the Hood.
Well, we know about this. I know about this already.
I like what you're talking about. Write a song.
Ice Cube is in my I didn't have him there, but Ice Cube is in my top 10 now. I got him at 10. Ice Cube is one of the greatest writers of all time. Just period. He's one of the greatest writers of all time. Whether it be raps, movies, whatever. He's one of the greatest writers ever, bro. And his catalog, listen, 90s Ice Cube, 80s, 90s Ice Cube. A lot of people I'm from the generation where I remember Ice Cube as a rapper, and I remember Ice Cube in the movies and everything. Ice Cube is definitely, you know what I'm saying, top 10 in my eyes now, as of, you know what I'm saying, yesterday. I was doing a lot of thinking and a lot of, you know what I'm saying, hip-hop diving. Ice Cube is top 10, bro. He is. With his influence on the game and NWA and everything, I have changed my top 10. And I will reveal my top 10 in another video this week, cause I got some thinking to do. Cause after what Drake just did, after, you know what I'm saying, Kendrick and his run and everything like that, and then J. Cole and everything that didn't happen in the last couple years, I definitely have to switch up, you know what I'm saying, my top 10. So, Ice Cube, amazing.
Song for my group, so I wrote Boys in the Hood, and they turned it down. But Dre convinced Eazy to do it. Eazy just worked hard. He worked hard and actually became a pretty good rapper. Over the decades, Big Daddy Kane has spoken in lengths about being a ghost.
Ain't nobody gonna slander Biz Markie. Big Daddy Kane was right for him. And Big Daddy Kane just put out a fire freestyle, bro. He put out a fire freestyle. Like, you know what I'm saying? He put out a fire one. I'm going to go back and I'm going to listen to a lot of 80s rap. Big Daddy Kane. I know about Rakim. I listen to a few Rakim, you know what I'm saying, records. I know about KRS-One. The Bridge is Over. The Bridge. South Bronx. Southside Bronx. Know about KRS-One. LL Cool J is my favorite rapper from back in the day. I think he was the first, like, Drake, if I'm being real. He was, like, I don't mean to say it like that, but he was, like, the blueprint. The ladies loved him. He had hard lyrics. You know what I'm saying? He had both sides. So I think LL Cool J definitely in my top 12 rappers of all time.
Ghostwriter for Biz Markie.
He also coined
an assertion
GOAT.
that was never been denied by the late great clown prince of hip hop.
LL Cool J also coined that term. GOAT. He was the first one to really say, I'm the greatest of all time. That I remember.
Said, for me, ghostwriting for someone else wasn't hard, because if I did it in my style, that's pretty much something good for you. And doing it in someone else's style, if they have a more simpler style, then it makes my job easier. Because now, I ain't got to think too complicated. For example, writing for Biz. It wasn't really about having hot rhymes. It was about having something funny. Biz just wanted something funny to say. So, Solo joined. Not only did the
Bro, even though Scarface was part of the group, This is one of the greatest hip hop songs of all time. Mind Playing Tricks on Me, one of the greatest rap groups, Ghetto Boys of all time. And Scarface, they basically saying wrote for everybody. But y'all not gonna slander the other two people in this group though. Y'all not gonna do that. Now Scarface one of the greatest, you know what I'm saying, rappers of all time. You know what I'm saying? I need to dive into more. I need to go listen to the Fix again. I need to dive into more of his shit. I'm gonna be diving into more of the older rappers and stuff like that because of the simple fact that I think it's rappers that was, you know what I'm saying, in that era that don't really get they just due, and maybe I'm overlooking them. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't want to have a cliche ass top 10. I want to have a top 10 based off of what I have really listened to. And I've listened to a lot of hip hop, but it's still more that I wasn't around for, wasn't born for, that I should listen to. You know what I'm saying? Pac, Biggie, Pac, Biggie, Jay Z, Nas, DMX, Eminem, you know what I'm saying, Snoop, all of them I was able to grow up on and everything like that. But like Scarface, you know what I'm saying, even Slick Rick, he was playing on the radio when I was growing up. You know what I'm saying? But it's some rappers that I didn't get. Ice Cube, NWA, all of them, like it was other rappers that I didn't get to listen to. So I think I should go back. But this is once again, this is well into the 90s. We went from 79 all the way through, and now we in the 90s.
The Houston OG produced the track. He penned 3 of the 4 verses on the song.
He penned 3 of the 4 verses on the song. Y'all crazy.
Willie D said, "First of all, Brad brought the song to the table. He got the idea from his grandmother. His grandmother would always say when she lost something, 'Mind playing tricks on me.' So he took that. A light went off, or it came."
That's what you call creative. That's what you call inspiration, creativeness. He made one of the greatest hip hop songs of all time, based off of his mom getting the idea from his grandma losing her stuff and just saying that. That's why I say hip hop is the greatest genre ever, bro. It's no genre better. I don't care what nobody say. It's no genre better than hip hop, bro. It's so many sub-genres of hip hop, so many different ways people sound. You got conscious hip hop, you got the melodic shit, you got the emo hip hop, you got, you know what I'm saying, the hip hop where they crossing genres, they putting this shit together. You know what I'm saying? You got the club music, you know what I'm saying? You got the pop rap and everything like that. Like you got so many different genres, bro. You got so many sub-genres. You do got the drill shit, which I don't particularly like. I've been stopped liking that. You know what I'm saying? Back in the day, you had the gangster music. You know what I'm saying? You got so many different sub-genres of rap, bro. And that's why I say hip hop is no genre like hip hop, bro. That's why I do so many hip hop videos on here and started this channel.
Came on. He wrote like 3 verses to the song. The song was basically written. When Jay Prince heard the song, he said, "This needs to be a Gato Boys song 'cause Scarface had actually wrote it for himself." It's a well-known fact that Ice Cube, MC Ren, and the DOC penned the majority of the lyrics for NWA's debut album. They're also officially credited as writers on the album notes. Deep Cover was a pivotal moment for Dre's recording career. On the outs with Ruthless Records and on his own as a solo artist, it was a do-or-die moment for the Compton producer. Luckily for Dre, he had a secret weapon, a lanky, Long Beach rapper who rapped like the West Coast version of Slick Rick.
They both use Ghostwriters, if you didn't know. Snoop Dogg was everybody had a ghostwriting verse for Dr. Dre. I'm not putting nothing on Dr. Dre. Dr. Dre is a producer. He's not a rapper. But Snoop has used ghostwriters, if you didn't know.
I asked Dre, said, "What you want your first line to be?" Snoop remembered in an interview with Revolt. He said, "Tonight's the night I get in some shit." Deep Cover on the incognito tip. I said, "Alright, I got you." Not only did Jermaine Dupri discover
We know this. This ain't really, you know what I'm saying?
and Death Row Records era, not only did the text
Dr. Dre, one of the greatest hip hop albums of all time. The DOC, who was part of the Dog Pound and everything like that, and he wrote for Dr. Dre. But like I said, Dr. Dre is a producer, so it really don't matter.
Texas rapper contributes significantly to NWA's debut album. He's also credited as a writer on a number of the Chronic songs, including Nothing But a G Thing. The DOC said, "That was one of the first records that Snoop and I worked together on, where it was me imparting, if you will, to him the formula for lack of a better way. By that time, the are super hard. I was gonna make name in a
I'm trying to get
lot of the verses, Old Dirty, gotta
mm.
get in how I fit in." According to Method Man, a lot of the verses Old Dirty rapped on his debut were Old Reza and Jeeza rhymes.
Now you tell me one nigga that's gonna slander ODB, RIP. Oh baby, I like it raw. Oh baby, I like it raw. That's my shit, bro. I ain't gonna lie. But you tell me one nigga that's gonna slander ODB with his verses on 36 Chambers, again, one of the greatest hip hop albums of all time. Still get listened to this day. Classic. But he had ghostwriters. Other people in the crew was writing for him. RZA and Jizza. He using old verses for them. So is he not hip hop? Exactly, bro. That's what I'm trying. I know y'all sitting there like, man, damn. I ain't know, either you did know or you like, man, I forgot that I ain't know all these verses was written by somebody else. These some of my favorite hip hop songs. Exactly. Ghostwriters have been a thing in hip hop forever. So just because you don't like a rapper of today's age, you gonna act like it wasn't people back in the day that was quote unquote supposed to be MCs that wasn't getting verses written for them, or people that was passing it off. People probably didn't know that Dre was getting verses ghost written for him. I can guarantee you back in the day they didn't think that. They probably thought Dre was nice on the mic too. But behind the scenes, niggas was writing for him. Same thing with Puffy. Same thing, all of them, bro. Same ODB, the Sugar Hill Gang. Scarface wrote for the Ghetto Boys. And on and on and on. I already did Biggie. I already did Jay-Z mimicking other people's styles. Biggie getting one of his most popular songs, Juicy, from somebody else. And I'm going to keep going until y'all understand you can't do that. Ghostwriting has been a thing. You can't ostracize somebody because they did a collaboration with somebody else. When you're going to do that, you got to do that for everybody in hip-hop history. Everybody that has ever used a ghostwriter, they can't be ranked. They can't be ranked at all. If that's what we're going to do, you got to keep it all the way down the line. Everybody that has used ghostwriters in hip-hop cannot be ranked as an MC. So then who the hell you going to rank? Because there's going to be a lot of people that's taken off that list. If you bit somebody's rhymes, if you stole somebody's songs, if you use ghostwriters, you can't be ranked. Then who the hell we going to rank then? It's going to be niggas that's from the underground that's going to be top 10. The ghostwriter is going to be top 10. So it makes no sense, bro. And that's why I will stand on me having Drake in the top 5 of all time MCs, because that's what I believe. I got him, Wayne, Hove, M. You know what I'm saying? And then I had Cole, but now I got Wayne 1, Drake 2, Hove 3, M 4. And I got Nas 5. So
The majority of the verses on that album are Old Reza rhymes and Jeeza rhymes. Meth told Complex, Dirty took all their shit and made it his own.
sorry, not Nas. I got DMX 5.
And Jeeza ain't say shit. Most of Dirty's verses was Jeeza's shit. I remember Jeeza and ODB got in an argument one night, and Jeeza was like, "Nigga, most of that shit on your fucking album is mine's anyway." Jay-Z is credited on several tracks off Foxy.
We kind of knew this.
Brown's
Jay-Z is a phenomenal writer.
1996 debut album under Sean Carter. Sauce is credited as a writer on the song under Todd Gaither and has on
Sauce Money. If you know who that is, you know. He ghostwrit a few songs for people. You know what I'm saying? Puffy had the best writers. I'll come out and say that. Puff versus, even though he's a despicable human being, you can't tell hip hop history without Puff. He's a despicable human being. And I believe he got Biggie unalived and Pac. But when it comes to his verses and then like the No Way Out album, the Press Play album, two classic albums in my opinion, like Puff verses was always tight. I'm not gonna lie to you. He always had the right writers. He always had the best writers, all of that. They made sure that Puff rhymes was tight. You can't lie. Even if you hate Diddy, I understand. His rhymes was always tight on every song I've ever heard from Puff. They was always tight.
On multiple occasions, talked about how Puffy not clearing the police sample ended up costing them millions in publishing money. It's a well-known fact that Biggie used to pen Lil' Kim's bar.
We know this. Lil' Kim, one of the greatest of all time. Even though I think Nicki is the GOAT. I think Nicki and Lauryn Hill looking eye to eye for the GOAT. I think Lauryn Hill is up there with one album. Go listen to Lauryn Hill, Miseducation of Lauryn Hill. That's pure essence of, that's hip hop, neo soul mixed into one, bro. That's hip hop and neo soul mixed into one, bro. Her voice is beautiful. She got, bro, Lauryn Hill could out rap 99% of these female rappers today. I think Nicki is the only one that might have a chance. Lauryn Hill will out rap 99% of these female rappers today. I think Nicki, maybe Rhapsody, shout out to her. They might have the only ones that have a real chance. And Lauryn Hill makes way better music than both of them. I think Lauryn Hill, that one album clears a lot of people whole catalog. It's not Nicki, but I'm just saying. Like, I think Nicki the only one really standing eye to eye with Lauryn Hill. And then you got the Fuji shit too. But that one album is timeless. It is. But Lil' Kim, we all know Biggie used to write for her. And Cameron probably wrote for Lil C's, because I think Lil C's was getting people writing for him.
Bars. He's credited as C. Wallace on this song, but not as many people that it was Cameron who wrote Little Cease's verse. Cameron.
What I just say? What did I just say? And I didn't even know that. I just seen Cameron on there. I'm like, he must have wrote Lil C's verse, because I know Lil C's was getting people writing for him. Y'all gonna clown them? Y'all gonna shit on Lil Kim and Lil C's? These is all people that you can't tell the story without hip hop about. Getting classic hip hop songs written for them. Come on, bro, this shit been a thing in hip hop. We not gonna act like niggas like Drake. What niggas like Drake, niggas like, you know what I'm saying, other people that's in the industry, that niggas like Kanye, like these the first niggas to ever do that. They just was more successful than anybody. And the thing is, Drake has written for other people. Kanye has written for other people. Well, I think, but like, come on, man, this shit been a thing in hip hop, bro.
Cameron said, what happened was Rivera gave Maze $30,000 to write 5 songs for Little Cease at that time, and Maze gave me $5,000 of the 30 to write 1 or 2 of the songs, explained Killa. I wrote the Crush on You song, and they ended up keeping it for Lil' Kim album. In an interview on the People's Party with Talib Kweli podcast, the Lox rapper revealed that it was him who wrote Puffy's verse. Diddy happen to...
I told you. What did I just say? Diddy, and I don't even like calling a nigga that. Puffy had the tightest verses. All About the Benjamins, Puffy verse on here that's one of his top 5 best verses ever, bro. He snapped on here, bro. This is a classic. All about the Benjamins, baby. What y'all want to do? Want to be ballers, shot callers, brawlers? Like he was snapping on here, bro. Like everybody snapped. The Lock snapped and Puffy, but nigga, they made sure Puff verse was tight. I'm telling you, like I listen to all eras of hip hop from the '90s to the 2000s, 2010s to now, even some late '80s, depending on what it really is. Like tight. The best era of hip hop is late '80s into the 2000s, from I say '89 to 2008, 2009, or like 2010. I say from like '89 to like 2010. That's like the glorious years of hip hop for me. I would say from '90 to yeah, from '90 to 2010. That's the glorious era of hip hop when Drake was just coming out and dominating, and Ye was still killing shit, and Lil Wayne was killing shit and shit like that. I think Jay Z had came back and everything. That was when shit, you know what I'm saying, to me started to kind of change, and it was more like melodic rappers, and the next few years mumble rappers came in and shit like that. Like the Drake, Kendrick, and Cole, they kind of revived it, but I think just from 1990 to like 2010 was just the glorious, glorious era. Like those 20 years of hip hop, it's the best years in my opinion.
To come into the room and hear me rhyming, and I already had that rhyme, Jadakiss recalled. He heard it and was like, "Nah, that's me. Let me get that right there." He took that and put it on the Benjamins. Me and Sheik didn't like the Benjamins, Kiss later revealed. Diddy almost like forced us to record the verses that we have on there. We didn't really understand what that beat was. It didn't.
They ain't know. That nigga Puffy, he was right. Puff was right, but he shouldn't. But that nigga Jadakiss, he was like, man, I hated writing for that nigga. I get it, but that shit is a classic. That nigga saw he had a vision. He saw that. They ain't see that. That's why Puffy was who he was. You can't deny his talent and what he was able to do. But he fucked over a lot of artists and messed over a lot of artists' career, bro. And he's a freakazoid.
Didn't grasp us at the time. We weren't eager to record it, but Diddy knew. That's what makes Diddy. This ghostwriting case has been rumored and debated for
We know this. I heard this years ago that Nas bro get jiggy with it.
years. But the fact is that Nas is credited as a writer on the track under Nasir Jones. In a 2014 Reddit, the Queensbridge rapper also said, "I hung out with Will in the studio and watched him write it. It was a fun studio session. And I said a line or two or three to him. It wasn't that serious," which sounds like Nas downplaying his involvement due to his respect for Will Smith. In an interview with Hot 97, Nas' former manager, Steve Stout, confirmed that Nas had contributed to getting jiggy with it.
But that's Nas. Nas ain't gonna put him out there, nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? We know. We know Nas pinned that. We know what's up, bro. But that's just Nas. He one of the greatest MCs of all time, bro. A lot of people revere his Illmatic album as the greatest hip hop album of all time. Not me, but others do. You know what I'm saying? I think it's up there, but not just me. More people like that's older than me, probably like 40s, 50s, and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Even some people that's my age, a little bit older. I don't revere it as that, but I think it's probably a top 10 hip hop album of all time. I'm just a little more nuanced. You know what I'm saying? But I think it's an amazing album. Of course, I've heard it. Like, if you ain't heard Illmatic from Nas and everything, you can't really know the real essence of hip hop. It's a few albums in hip hop history I feel if you haven't listened to, you can't really know the essence of hip hop. That's one. Tupac, All Eyes on Me, of course, Biggie, either Life After Death or Ready to Die, either or. You know what I'm saying? It's a few that if you haven't listened to it, like, you just don't know.
Steve Stout said, Will had a couple people write for him, but when we really needed to finish that thing up, we brought Nas in. He'd write some of it, then he'd hate himself, then he'd keep writing. I was like, Nas, there's publishing money in this. This is a real thing. Just don't listen to the getting jiggy with it. Listen to the rest. Jay-Z writing Still DRE for Dre and Snoop is probably the highest profile ghostwriting example.
Jay-Z is, he a motherfucker for writing this. This probably Dr. Dre. This might be his best song. This might be his best song. And the fact that Jay-Z penned this, Jay-Z is a phenomenal writer, bro. Niggas just get mad because I don't have him as the GOAT. And I don't think he the GOAT.
At first, he wrote about diamonds and Bentleys, Dre explained to Blaze magazine in a 1999 interview. So I told Jay to write some other shit. Jigga sat for 20 minutes and came back with some hard ass. Around the way, Ella shit. It was also revealed later on that not only did Jay write Dre's lyrics, he penned Snoop Dogg's verses as well.
So, Jay-Z wrote the whole Still DRE. Y'all gonna ostracize Snoop Dogg, huh? Snoop Dogg use writers. Y'all gonna get rid of Snoop Dogg? Y'all gonna say he ain't hip hop? He can't be ranked? Man, I'm telling y'all, I'm cooking y'all niggas after this. I'm cooking y'all. I'm cooking y'all with this, bro. I'm exposing all the narratives, all the hypocrites.
Snoop told The Breakfast Club, he wrote Dre's shit, and my shit, and it was flawless. It was Still DRE, and it was Jay-Z, and he wrote the whole fucking song. Pharaoh Monch is credited under Troy Jamerson on the song. Pharaoh Monch said, Man, what's weird about that is, if I find the original verses that I laid down, they're very different from Diddy's. Not taking anything away from what was done, but the way I approached, it was a little more akin to my swagger. His approach was a lot different.
The point is, it's been ghostwriters in hip-hop since the inception. Don't try to switch and move the goalpost because you don't like a rapper and try to ostracize him from hip-hop and say he ain't hip-hop or he can't be ranked in the best MCs ever because he collaborated with somebody and credited them or they wanted to collaborate with them. Because then you got to do that for everybody that's ever did that in this video, and there's others that wasn't in this video that I know of. So that's why I made this video. I hope y'all enjoyed it. This been Who is Hendo, Real Hendo Reactions, Hip Hop Hypocrisy, episode 4, basically. And we gonna keep this going. I'm holla at y'all, man. Peace.